Okay, here we go.
Okay. Hello, how are you doing?
Please switch on your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You're doing great?
I'm good.
Okay. We can start with our questions then.
Sure.
So why should we hire you?
Why should you hire me? I think I have a good problem-solving skills. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When I was year one, joined a robot competition called automation robot, which what I make is I'm doing code to make the robot separate two color of candy. But the bad things happen that the robot run out of battery. So what I do is making battery myself with the magnet, and it runs again. So that is my problem solving skills. Yep.
So how have you changed since you began university?
How it changed? Okay, let's say let's talk about me in high school. I don't have that much friends, and I have bad communication skill because I just focus on like looking forward to join the university, right? And that when I get into the university, and I know that learning alone that is bad, because when I was first year, my grade is very bad. But then I decide to join my friends, reading books with friends, and that make me better grade, have a better grade, and that improve my communication and teamwork skills too. Yeah.
So tell me about an engineering creation that you are proud of.
Proud of in engineering what? Sorry.
Engineering creation.
Creation that I am proud of. I don't have anything that I do it by myself, but I'm proud of. But I have one math competition in high school. I can tell you that. So first, when I was young, I am not good at anything, but then I have met a math tutor when I was in high school. Then her like the way she is teaching is step by step and in the system. So I become love math by somehow, and so that I can stay with her like 8 hours a day in summer, so that I finish the 3-year courses in 2 years. Then I joined a math competition in the 3rd year, and then it's called international math competition. Then I got the silver medal. That is the most thing I proud for myself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And final question, what is one skill on our job advert that you possess, and can you prove it, please?
should I say, more, sorry,
Okay, no problem. What do you think is the ideal working environment?
ideal working environment. Okay, for me, let's say about project working. For me, the project should be the in the big part, then following up with the detail down deeper, and then finish with clearing up the part. Let's talk about my drawing project in year one. What I do first is research about it for like a week, because I think that researching is the I mean, research is the most important part. Then what I have to do there is creating a triangle bookcase, which I think it is the most creativity thing I have done. Then after that, I put in some detail, like how many plank I should use, how many screw, how many nails I should use. Yeah, then finish up with what I think the project should be is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You've already done your both sides, right? Interview and being interviewed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You're finished for today.
So I can leave, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next candidate. I'll sometimes I'll just change the last question if I feel they haven't given any skills from the job advert and I want to give them an opportunity to prove it. Okay, but obviously he couldn't. So, all right, next candidate. Here we go. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm excited. So the first question, tell us a skill you developed at universities.
So the skill that I developed in my university so far is the time management. Well, that was the time when I have to like do many jobs as one. I developed the skill when I was in the leader of the PR team last month for the CU Photo Clubs exhibition. I used to like a lot of program related, so I decided to create an animation video showing the mall for the exhibition about COVID-19, and it due on the next day. So I had and I have like this subject presentation on the next day as well. So I manage it by prioritizing what is more urgent, which is the video animation project, because it has to be ready before the mall open on the next day. Therefore, I started planning the whole project, and like the color theme, the template, so I could just add everything easily. And I even finished the project earlier than I planned. So then I have time to prepare of this class presentation. And I just repeated the whole process for the first presentation as well. And the end of the day, I managed to finish it. And I hope that I can use this skill to work with you guys.
Okay, what is your main strength?
I think my main strength is adaptability. I was selected to be the vice president of the expat club in our faculty, so I developed the adaptability skill to help me achieve my work. There was a time when I have to like recruit a new member for the club like in a week before the university start, and the president not working well enough, and everything is still new to me. So I decided to have a talk with like old president about how should I manage. So I finally took the leads and listed everything I need to like complete the recruitment, schedule the time and plan everything ahead. So it's reduced like the workflow in the future. And finally, I could like instructed the task to other members of the club for the interview as well. And at the end of the week, I finished everything on time, and the recruitment went completely smooth. I got the qualified member for the work for this year project.
Okay, what do you enjoy most about engineering?
What I enjoy most is that I can work with a lot of talented people in our faculty. Like it's kind of challenged me, so I have to be like a bit creative. I I used to join the team of a well-known page for engineering student on Instagram. It's called Punisit. It's the page you have to like announce the news of an activity of the faculty. But at first it was just the page that tell the news and activity inside, right? So I came up with the new strategy to promote our page. Like we don't have to announce just new, why like we can make it like a channel for 1,000 of engineering to know each other. So I make the like take over the project and let other student take over the Instagram page and upload more content on Instagram. So we got more info from various people, not just one. And the follower can get to know that person's who take over. And at the end, we gained a lot of followers, and our page is really famous right now. I think it's very important to get more info from like various sources. So I hope that I can use this technique to work with you guys as well.
Okay. Describe your work experience that is relevant to programmer positions.
When I was in first grade, like studying exploring engineering, well, I developed the software skill from that work. I was in the product design cluster, and the problem is we have to like come up with the new idea that help solving the present daily situation. And that time was like a COVID time that we have to like study online. So the students still have problem like studying lab class, like how they're going to do when they have to study. Obviously they don't have like the lab at home, so they have like problem like visualization, everything. So I come up with a solution, like why don't we just combine the VR to like lab class at Chula, so that student can visualize everything better. It's like they're doing like the real experiments. So everyone agreed on that idea, and I decided to like draft it on the design programs, like the design the interface, the software of the VR. Then I presented to the professor, and they really like it. Eventually, like we got the third place from 30 groups, which I'm really proud of it. And yeah, I hope that I can use this technique as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
you.
thank you very much, Kiriton. You're finished.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job. All right, give me a second and I'll get the new next candidate in. Okay. Nice candidate coming in now. Here we go. Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to the interview. Are you ready?
Well, I'm a little bit scared, but I would say yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, don't be scared. Shall I start the first question now?
Yeah, sure.
So if asked, how would your teachers or your classmates describe you?
Well, I would say that my classmate would describe me. Well, I wouldn't say it's classmate. I would say it's my teammate from university robotics competition team, and I would say that they would describe me as a problem solving, critical thinking person. As well, during the robotic competition, when we first placed our robot on the testing field, the robot wasn't working as intended, and it exhibits some really weird behavior that we have never seen before during the practice. So I decided to running the test for the robot multiple times, and I found that it wasn't the problem with the hardware, it was actually the problem with the software. So I noticed that like every time the robot passed to the certain spot, it will stop working immediately. So what I did was that I look into the sensor reading data and then analyze the data point, and then I found that the problem was with our sensor algorithm. So what I did was I did a quick research on the internet and find a replacement. And yeah, the robot worked properly again, and we are able to continue competing, which I believe that this experience will be a good for your company, since you guys are doing about the digital twin, right? And from what I did the research on, the digital twin use a lot of sensor data, which I already have experience on it by analyzing the data from the robot.
Oh,
I
well,
just have to apply it. Yep.
we're glad to hear that. And tell me about a time when you get negative feedback on your work and how did you respond?
Well, so let's say there was this one time I talked with, well, it was during the start of the second years. I talked with my advisor, Professor Jarat Luck. And well, I talked to her about like my time schedule as well. Oh, I forgot to mention that like I first joined the robotic competition team in first year. So in the second years, I worked as a technical leader for the team. And so I talked with the Professor Jarat Luck about this. And then she complained to me that, well, how would I be able to manage my time, since that is a lot of work? And yeah, she was right, because I have to balance between studying for the exam, preparing for the upcoming competition, which is actually a lot. And so what I did was I wrote a list of what I have to do day by day, right? And then I sorted it by the due date and make it as a priority list. And then I start working from the top of the list to the bottom. And the reason why I make the priority list, because I believe that not every task can be done exactly in time. So we have to have a flexible time frame. And as a result, I was able to, complete the task in time, every single one of them, and also complete in a highest qualities, which I believe that this could be really well applied to your company, since as you assign me the work, I will be able to complete the task effectively on time. And yep, that's probably it for these questions.
Okay. So what have been your favorite engineering course at a university and why?
Well, I would say my most favorite, my favorite course would be engineering mechanics. Well, yeah, I know doesn't sound appealing, since a lot of people don't really like it, but I found that I was able to adapt my engineering mechanic knowledge into the mechanical part of the robot. Well, you see, when we are as I said before, I'm a team leader for the technical leader for the robotics team right now. And what we are doing right now is actually making a robot for the next year, which is 2023. And the first thing we have to do is design the robot. And after I learned the engineering mechanics, right, I found a lot of problem with our old version of the robot in terms of mechanical aspect. So I was able to discuss this with my mechanical team, and they were able to come up with the solution, such as, well, for the old robot, we don't have really what should I say dampening system for the view, but this, and so that's what and so I applied this spring mechanic to the, I advised them to apply the spring mechanic to the robot, and yeah, the design was really good, and our advisor, Professor Ronapi from Robotics and AI Engineering, really approved of this design. And I believe that I will be able to use this adaptability to your company, since, I believe that I'm a person that can apply my previous knowledge to the new one and master the new one quickly. So once you assign the job to me, even though it's a new job, I'll be able to finish it as expected.
Oh. Here's the last question. What
right.
do you think is the ideal working environment for you?
That is a really interesting question. So my ideal working environment would be similar to what I have right now in the robotics club. So when I first, let's say, it's a team that will help challenge my adaptability and critical thinking. So when I first joined when I was the first year, I joined the robotic competition team, as I said before, right? And well, I was still like first year student, and so they assigned me to work on an algorithm for the robot, which the problem was that I have never used a software that they used before. So so what I did was that I looked up a basic tutorial in the internet, and then I find a similarity between the new software and the one that I have used proficiently. So it turned out that like it supports the same programming language and have some similar feature. So I work out from there by doing what I am already used to in the new software, and I was able to learn a lot new feature really fast. And yeah, as a result, I was able to master this new program in a month. And during the time in the competition, I was able to write a new algorithm that heavily affect the outcome of our competition. And as a result, I got the second place in the world.
Wow.
And yeah, so to defer back to your question, I would say that this kind of working team environment that's similar to my club would help me signify my critical thinking and adaptability, and apply my adaptability skill to the fullest. And that is what I would expect from working with you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, great answers, and you're done for the day. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, final candidate.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, pumped, but ready. Yeah.
Okay, so let's begin with our first question. How have you changed since you began the university?
I'm sure that I have a lot of changes in myself. Well, I age older after all, but the more experience, I think I'm pretty sure about this thing. I can adapt to situations more and more. Let me tell you an example, shall we? So in the second semester of my first year in my university, we had a project. We had a subject that we had to innovate, and innovation in group, and we have never been known before with strangers. We had to pair up with strangers and made a group to create an innovation. And this innovation can be anything regarding the topics that we have chosen, and we chose at the time was water pollution from factory, and we had to make a creation to solve it. But first we have to interview people. Because I broke the ice between people in the group, I had to, I was elected to be the group leader. And I used to be a timid person. I did not want to participate in a lot of conversation, but when the situations come, I had to change. And so apparently at the time, we had to interview multiple people regarding the water management in factories. And so I reached out to multiple people, and apparently in the group, I was the only person in the group who had connections. And so I had to use this, I had to bring out the leader in me. I had to bring out the speaker, the confidence in myself. And I reached out to 7 and 8 members of those people. So some of them were government officials, some of them were engineers, and some of them were factory owners themselves. And some of them declined, but 5 of them agreed to the interview, and I led all the interviews by myself. And the presentation regarding the interview was great. I even edited the videos myself, and I led the team to have critical success in the reception after we presented the result of the interview. So I'm really proud that it showcased a lot of my adaptability and how I changed from before my university times into who I am. Yes.
Okay, that sounds pretty nice. So, what has been your biggest achievement?
This is a nice question. I've done quite a lot actually, but the one that is closest to my heart right now is probably the one regarding game development. You see, game development is one of my main hobby, and you can juggle a lot of softwares around. You have to be creative, and I want to highlight my creativity in this achievement of mine. So there was one time that I joined in a game development competition by myself. It was the biggest game development competition at the time, with like 6,000 teams entering all over the globe, and I was one of them, but I was a one-man team. So I had to innovate everything all by myself. I have to be creative. The theme was roll the dice. I have to make a dice rolling game that is interesting. And there was 48 hours for development time. And so I have to be creative in this limited amount of time to create an end product that is satisfying to play. And so I started making the dice rolling first, and then I thought, hey, what if I have a story? What if your dice rolling has a consequence? And so I added a storytelling system. It became a visual novel which you can interact and have your dice control your fate. And then after that, I made a twist at the end in which you can actually control the dice and to decide the ending that you want. But you don't know which ending you will become, but you can have a choice at the end. And so it has a twist in the theme, and I implemented all this within limited amount of time. And I think it also kind of highlights my time management skill too. But I want to focus it on my creativity, because in the creativity aspect, it was a warning system as well. People love it so much that I ranked 10th in creativity, aspect of it. And it was 0.5 percentile at the top that I achieved. And so I'm really, really proud of this achievement. And so like 10 from 6,000, that's amazing. So I'm really proud of this, and it showcases a lot of my creativity skill and also my time management skill.
Okay, and if I want you to tell me an example of a problem where you had to think on your feet.
All right, so I would want to express my experience about another game development competition that I entered. So this time, right, I was not alone. I entered it with my friends, but I was not the leader. I was a secondary programmer that I had to implement some of the mechanics, and I was in charge of creating the object interaction. Mind you that this was in my second year of university, so I had quite a lot of friends in the game development club that I joined, and so I recruited them inside, and and develop this game. I let my junior lead the team at the time. And so I let my junior guide me on how they want the system to be created. And so I created the object interaction system. There were variations of them and I tested in my computer. It works perfectly. But then it happened that the function did not work on other people's copies of the project. This is due to the fact that I apparently used the completely different version of the game development program. And so I have no choice. I have no like people to talk to about this thing because I have to fix this stuff myself because it's a software problem on my side. So I had to stand on myself this time. And what I did was I had to research online. I had to consult it with a lot of my seniors who have more experience on this program more than me. And I talked a lot to my friends on what is the error, what do you want to add more on that? And so I troubleshooting a lot of people, and then I tried to fix it. I wasted 10 extra hours, but it was the 10 hours that I really enjoyed. And in the end, it was fixed. Everyone loves it, and that showcased a lot on how I try to use critical thinking to solve the problem.
Okay, and this will be your last question. So, can you please describe your work experience that is relevant to programmer position?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I have multiple experience on game development, which is close to software development in a sense that as you can see in my resume, I have experience on C#, C++, Python, and so I also have some experience in Java too. And so I have experience in this kind of stuff, but I want to add more on the graphical aspect as well, because I know that your company has a graphical aspect because you want to make a high definition digital twin. And so I also have proficiency in Blender, in which it's 3D programming for modeling. And I can model, I have a hobby of modeling, such as like modeling characters and modeling cars. And so I can improve your UI, UX, and even models design on your as well. And so I'm very proud to say that in all my games, I actually model all the models by myself throughout the entire 2 years of game development experience. And so I think that should highlight my skills really well. And I wish that my skills in both back end and front end will be really helpful in your company.
Okay, thank you very much, Jiren. And you can breathe now. Well done, good job. All right, and then you're finished, right? You've done both sides of the interview.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very
thank you.
much. Thank you. Tanik, you seem very excited about something.
That was scary.
All right. Is it your time to interview now? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me bring up these guys in.
May I go to the bathroom first?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to put you in the waiting room anyway. So, okay.
Okay.
And
Thank you. Can you leave or do I have to kick you out?
Kick me out.
Okay. I have to...
Wait, so I stop recording, right?
Yeah, yes, please.